Hello, I hope you're all doing well. This is Bunto Skiffler. I'm doing a new show for 2016. I've decided to call it Bunto's Diet Array 2016. I'll tell you how it all goes. First off, Happy New Year. And let me see if I can give you a proper backstory to the diet experience that I've had so far. In 2015, I was dieting for over a year. And I started from 250 pounds and I worked myself down to the lowest I got was 184. So I lost a significant amount of weight. And going into the winter months of last year, I decided that I was just going to spend those last 3 months something called a reverse diet, where I was just going to sort of like straighten out my metabolism and just, start rounding myself out, right? Because I felt like, my body was really flat. So I just started taking creatine and starting to eat. I thought I'd reduce my amount of workout, but I decided, it just dawned that going to the gym is like a part of my social self. So I just would go to the gym, and what I really started getting into was resistance exercise. So a lot of weightlifting and bugging the guys there that were, the meatheads, to teach me, new exercises and a lot more to do with free weights, learning routines. And, the last 3 months of that year were just pretty much eating and training with weights. I had my metrics taken in November or October, just going into the winter months, and I was at 19% body fat. So I indicated to them that I wanted to get down to 15%. So I set myself for the goal for 2016 is, I've always wanted to be at 180 pounds. And the lowest I got was 184. So, I just set out that what I do, instead of like a big solid diet, is I would have, 4 diets of 10 weeks each, with, that 10th week being just a rest and examining what was going on. So I decided to make an array of 4 diets. And then, through those diets, I'd figure out which one was my body had the most success with, and, which one that I thought was quite valid. And so, I came up with that I would have 4 10-week diets. And then the last 3 weeks of the last 3 months of this year, of course, would be another reverse diet where I just like recuperate and get my metabolism back on track. So, as a background, I just had, I have like 3 workouts down, so the activity portion's fine. And then the diet was, I've had, some effect of losing some weight in the past. So I was just going in with some experience. It's like, it's not like starting off brand new diet. It's like, what would you call it? The sophomore approach to dieting. Sophomore season approach, not sophomoric or anything. So going into it, let me see, I just want to give a proper background, just describing my workouts first. Should I describe the workouts or the diet? Well, which is the fun part? Okay, there's only 2 things really that I think comes with dieting. Let me show you that. With losing weight, the approach to losing weight. Okay. You control your intake and you control your activity. So let's go ahead and talk about intake first, the diet. I've, going into 2016, I've always been intrigued by veganism, right? By just sticking to vegetables. So I thought I came up with this first diet. I would call it intermittent veganism, because, for what it's worth, I live with a person who is not going to ever give up meat. So I would have to at least occasionally eat some meat products, right? But I thought, like, on the whole, I would just be a, vegetarian. I just eat vegetables. And, I think I would be disciplined enough to follow that, right? And I have done that so far. what's good about just restricting yourself to vegetables? First off, um, it's a way of controlling your micronutrients. You know, what I've discovered with dieting is that you really do have to take a lot of supplements, you know, to maintain a energy and a certain appeal to your body, right? So, but with vegans, you know, you're just getting it through the food. You're like superfooding, right? So that was the thing is like, you know, I did try a lot of supplements last year, and I just arrived at like just a few supplements that I really know work for me. Um, I enjoy beta alanine tremendously for just workouts, and I also use creatine just to use creatine mostly for cosmetics, just to round the body out. And I also take like, you know, B12 and other little, you know, essential minerals, potassium, magnesium type supplements. I also take glucosamine for the joints, right? So I do supplement, but when you're sticking to a you know, a vegan diet, you really can get a lot of micronutrients through your cuisine, through what you're going to eat there. Um, when you're talking about intake, you know, anybody who's new, it's like, how many times a day do you eat? And what happened when I lost the weight that I did last year, my eating was, I would eat pretty much once a day, 1.5 times a day, like 1.5 times a day. And but I would do a lot of grazing. You know, I would just like eat a handful of nuts and stuff here, there, or just a small snack. You know, I also drank a lot of my I always drank my breakfast and so forth, protein shakes, right? But in the whole, I would just eat one meal a day, 1.5, let's say, you know, once right after I get out of the gym, and then half a meal when I'd get hungry again in the evening. So they always say, you know, eat 3 squares, but in a way, I was grazing throughout, you know, the day. Like maybe later on, I would do some intermittent, you know, fasting. I wouldn't eat past a certain time, but you know, wasn't so much, you know, dogmatic about intermittent fasting as I was just, you know, not eating after a certain point of time. Um, the activity is just, you know, it's almost like it is a complete other realm of how you do activity for a diet. It's essential to keep your activity up for a diet, that your activity is higher than your intake, so that you're at a caloric deficit so you can start losing weight. So, but that's the fun part. It's almost like it is artistic. It's artistic expression, the activity. I worked down to like I worked out three um, workouts. I would do like this Monday, Wednesday, Friday full body workout, and it was like an epic workout because it was really long. But you know, I just had such great pacing in 2015 that I could get through this, you know, over 3.5 hour, 4 hour workout. Right? People were all like, you know, amazed, so forth. And I really didn't feel like I was overtraining. I mean, I was handling that workout, and I would do the Monday, Wednesday, Friday full body, and then on Tuesday or Thursday, you know, I would take a day off. I only work 5 days a week at the gym, right? Like Tuesday, I would do upper half, right? And it was like a lot of, I do a lot of supersets and a lot of circuits, right? But for that, you know, upper half, I would definitely, you know, bear down and work on the upper half, biceps, arms, whatever. Do some free weights, mainly free weights over machines, right? When I'm doing that Monday, Wednesday, Friday workout, I'm doing a lot of machines. And then on Sunday, which was my favorite workout, I do bottom half, right? I do straps, you know, TRX straps, a lot of extension work, leg extensions and leg curls, and some body weight, dip bars, so forth, you know, pull-ups. And I would roll out too. And also I would do like a long, like 30-minute romp on the treadmill, do some sprinting on that. Essentially, the way I worked out the treadmill was like, you know, high intensity training. It would be hit, but it would be like, you know, the way I do it, just through 30 minutes. It wouldn't be like sprint, rest, you know, intervals. It really wasn't so much intervals hitting, but I would sprint, you know, essentially 1 point of my treadmill work on Sunday, right? So that was working for me, right? You know, I just started really throwing off the pounds and, you know, will myself down 60 some pounds, right? And then I decided, well, you know, I'm just going to reverse diet and get up my metabolism to where, I just feel, when you diet for over a year, you just want to get away from it. You just want to say, hey, I don't want to diet no more. You read about that, and, it's not like, what I'm going to be doing for the next rest of my life is dieting. I just wanted to step away from it. So I went ahead and did that, last 3 months, just reverse diet. So that was the workout. I had 3 workouts down, had the gym routine going. And for those 3 months, I'm just going to be coming into the gym, socializing and working out, resistance training. I just really started doing a lot of bench pressing. I was wanting to get into squats, but first I wanted to work on the bench press first. So I did that all the last 3 months, just a lot of chest and arms. My core, working that on the we have a pull down, so I worked that out. Let me see. So, sure enough, I'm sort of counting the days. Okay, I worked myself, from 184 back to like the mid 190s, right? So I'm just, kind of days. It says, I'm really looking forward to this 4 diet array, just see what the heck happens, right? So I jump into it. Okay, let me go show you what's happened so far. Okay, so it's almost gonna be February. So I've had 4 weigh-ins, and I'll show you what I got. Oh, okay. I'd like to extend greetings to the viewer. Hold on a sec. Let me. Okay. Just look at it for a second. So ingest it. Okay, 193. Looking at it just on the face, it is a plateau, right? And you would think, well, you seem like you have your workout squared away, right? Why don't we really look at the diet? Okay, so let me describe the diet first. I have been eating a lot of vegetables. I mean, I haven't been Nazi with my meat intake. Okay, I haven't really just said, this week I shall not eat meat. So that has not happened, right? Now my eating in the holidays, I don't know. I think I ate. I don't think I ate like 3 squares a day, but I definitely ate, 2 and more. I just ate. Went ahead and ate these last 3 weeks. So maybe eating, wasn't back on. But the thing is, I tell you, and I've really been thinking about this, is that I have gone back down to 1.5. I really haven't been eating like I have in the holidays this month of January. And the only thing that, kind of crosses my mind is that I have been eating like spinach pasta, and I have, friends that I have a friend at the gym, and, she says, first off, you got to quit eating pasta. You got to just dump the processed foods. So that's one thing that comes to mind. Like maybe the vegan diet will work a lot better if I just toss out pasta, right? Really start tossing out any sort of grains. But grains are good. Let me say it this way: I ate grains when I was dieting and I lost weight, right? So looking at this, I'm sort of nonplussed. It is definitely a plateau. And why don't we let me discuss the workouts. Okay, coming back. Okay, the workouts were, I wanted to get back to the workout routine I had when I was losing weight, right? But I discovered that, hey, I wasn't finishing these workouts. I would get tired, before the last portion of it. I was like leaving it at the gym. So the last portion is, a series of quitters. They're like 4 machine circuits that I would do 3 times in a row. And then I jump on the elliptical for a good 18 minutes at like, 16, 17 resistance, good resistance, and make sure that I just left it at the gym. I get off the elliptical and then go into dip bars and do either, suicide squats, or I do dips, depending on, what I really felt. But I definitely, that last portion of my Monday, Wednesday, Friday workout is to leave it at the gym, right? The upper half, Tuesday, Thursday that I could do, I would definitely, just use resistance and leave it at the gym. That way I wouldn't do any sort of cardio to leave it at the gym. And Sunday straps was a sprinting end of that treadmill. So it really wasn't, that wasn't so much a butt breaker really on Sunday. I just wanted to get the cardio up, feel good going into the week. But guess what? I wasn't finishing these workouts. There's more than a few days in this month's section where I just did not finish the workout. So what I would do is this. I would say, well, I'm going to just come back to the gym and finish it, right? When I was doing the workouts when I was losing weight last year, I would do the workout, finish it, and then I walk around the neighborhood, that evening, or I do running at the junior high. They got a rubber track, right? So I also did a lot of running last year. I haven't been able to do that, right? Because the weather's been cold. So I had not necessarily 2-a-days, but I mean, I would do activity later on that evening, the day I went to the gym, right? So that hasn't been really happening. You can do activity at your in your house during, inside. You can do, yoga strap and curl some dumbbells. I would do that, but I really haven't been doing that. Why? Because I've been just tired. Okay, why am I tired, man? It's like, I don't think it has to do with food. I think it has to do actually with the improvement of my resistance training. I've improved it. It's like much more stressor on the body than the workout last year, right? I do drop sets now. I mean, I really just break, myself on a stress factor than I did before. So, okay, something has to change, right? Because you're looking at this and it's like, well, Bunto, what you can do is you can increase your activity, right? The thing is, honey, I'm freaking tired, man. Right when I woke up, I took a nap, right? I woke up an hour ago. I woke up tired, man. So I don't think I can increase the activity anymore at this point. Maybe I can when I get in the groove, but maybe not. So I'll tell you what I noticed. Okay, so today I was looking at this girl, Jen, right? And she's lifting the same amount of weight that I am, okay? That I do in my upper half workout day, right? And I'm looking at her arms, right? And they're chunky, okay? So I think to myself, right then, I think, is that the direction that I'm going in, right? Because she's a physique competitor, right? And I'm looking, it's like, that's just not what I told myself, that I was going to lose body fat, right? I'm not going to, bulk out. So, I chatted with her a bit, and it sunk in that, hey, she's working in a direction to bulk, and that's just not the direction that I want to go in at this point, right? We have another girl there, Melissa, right? I just met her like last month, and I look at her workout, and she's definitely a shredder, right? She's gotten some sort of online program where she's working extreme cardio, right? She'll do one cardio workout and then another one right after it, right? And she's really sweating, okay? She's really, getting her heart rate up. And that's what it's about, heart rate, right? When you throw off the pounds. And so I'm thinking, let's face facts, Bunto. You had these 3 months of just rounding yourself out, forget it. You've got to approach cardio at this point. Do I want to turn my back on resistance training? It's to the point where it's not the direction I want to go in now. I want to just get down to 15% body fat. And at my age, it's 3 things really. It's toning, it's retaining muscle, and it's digging out the fat. So now it's time to really, I'm looking at this plateau now. Now I just want to dig out the fat. Okay. Let me take a breath here to get my mind together. Whenever you plateau, it happens, like many times last year I plateaued, right? But I would just wait, maybe increase my activity really, and I'd break through the plateau, right? And start losing weight again. This time it's kind of, I don't want to, I guess I could use the word disheartening, but it's just, to start off a diet with a plateau sucks. looking at it, it's 195, right? What happened there? I think was water weight, and also my body, adjusting to the diet. I went down to 192, right? So it looks like definitely a body weight, but now bounced back to 193. As far as like the projected, I was just so used to like throwing off at least more than 2 pounds a month. So I thought I'd get back to that, and look at that, just didn't do nothing. Um, my diet can improve a little bit. I think more towards throwing out more towards vegetables and just getting rid of processed. But I think it's the routine. I just have to change the routine to more cardio influence. I like the social part of like doing circuit training and working out in the resistance part, but just to get back, for February, I'm just gonna really start doing Melissa's approach and doing like back-to-back cardio. You get on a machine like the elliptical, right, the super elliptical, and just like crank away for, I have another friend there, Ken, who's an actor, and he's on there, for an hour, and that's what you got to do, if you want to just start shedding body weight, body fat. Let me see. Straps are fun, right? Keeping the heart rate up on straps. The best thing about straps is that, it's like whole body. And it's like one thing that I've really been focusing on in these 3 months has been, body feedback, like working out, just going down, on straps. You can just get on there and just, explore each part of your body while you work it down, at least getting it taut. And straps have worked out pretty well for me. So there's this other person on YouTube called Becca Fit, and she does straps at a pace, right? Like an aerobic pace. So that's an approach you can do, instead of just doing elliptical and treadmill and stair climber, you can do straps at a pace. So that's something else I might take advantage of. The only thing that I noticed with straps in my gym is that you can only really get away with doing straps, the full messing around with straps for like about an hour or more if it's on a Sunday, because when it's during the week, like everybody wants to use a strap. So it's like hard to just, do a full, strap bar isn't wide enough. For me, I'm 6'2", so it's just not wide enough just to get that, sole strap workout that you can get on a Sunday. When you're going into a diet, you want to realize that there are things that you can control. You can read, the diets where you have to like count your calories and, be a food Nazi. It's really just two things. It's just intake and activity. So what we have to do now is just get an activity that is, okay, it's volume, right? Just to get my volume to where it's at, to where it was last year. The volume of activity to where I can, start shedding the pounds again. Okay. Things to talk about for like somebody who's just starting a diet. It's like what to give up. What I've noticed in talking to people here in the Great Debate community is that, the needle will hit zero in your head, and then you want to, do something about your weight, right? That's absolutely fine, perfect, right? The needle hits zero, and you want to start doing something. But the thing is that you don't want to quit, right? Quitting is a interesting thing, right? You don't want to quit your diet, yet you want to quit certain facets of your intake, right? You want to quit processed sugar. Processed sugar is the number one thing you want to quit. And then I would say the second thing that you want to quit, that's applicable for the Great Debate community, is you want to quit alcohol. Why? Because alcohol stops your metabolism flat out. It's hard to lose weight if you're still drinking. When you give up the drinking, then you can, start changing your life. That's one thing I've noticed. It's funny, but last year, I stopped drinking last January, right? And the person that made me stop drinking pretty much this year now she stopped drinking, right? So it's like, you know, on the celebration of my like 1 year anniversary, I guess she's gonna stop too. And not because of that, but she just is gonna stop. So it's interesting. You give up the processed sugars, you give up drinking, and all I had to do is just do some activity, right? Walking. Walking is like the base. That's how I started out my dieting. I just started walking around the neighborhood, eventually signed up for a gym, and the rest is, you know, losing weight. Maybe also one thing about the gym is that you have other people there that you can pal up with, you know, that'll help you continue your, you know, journey of changing yourself. Maybe some of you don't have like people you know interact with here on the community, but if you ever want, you know, you can talk to me anytime about, you know, fitness, dieting approaches and stuff like that. I have friends here, you know, Bachman, and I'll talk to Tommy Hall. Talk to, you know, also being Ermine now, I'm starting to talk to about fitness, you know, approaches and stuff, what to do. And Ermine and her approach, she's very, like, very intricate, you know, very scientific with her approach. And for me, you know, I have the other end. I just look at two things. Like what I'm trying to say, she's very multifaceted and puts it down on her spreadsheet. And me, I just, you know, I do the Monday weigh in and I just look at activity and intake, really. Okay, for example, there's many types of people that you'll meet at the gym. My gym is like 90% female, right? So, and I empathize with the females a lot. What I'm trying to say is, what is their approach, right? I've seen very strong females, right? I mean, that okay, you look at the activity that they're doing, you know, the cardio activity, and you know what type of stress they're putting on their bodies, right? And the thing is that the thing about females is that they are excellent. The female body, estrogen, is excellent at retaining fat. You know, many females will, you know, hate that fact, but it's excellent. That's a good fact in biology that the female body is great at at retaining fat. The thing is, you know, so what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to get my thoughts together. What I'm trying to say is that the ladies are you can't judge the body by what they're doing, right? You know, they may be a little fatty, right? But they're fit people. So okay, you know that the fitness is not necessarily revealed by the shape that their body's in at that time, right? So you know, talking to the ladies at the gym, you know, intercoursing with them, their ideas. It's like we have lady bodybuilders. We also have fitness and trainers, and you know, the approach of the lady bodybuilders is, of course, you know, competition and round themselves out and to shred out, right? And then you know, the other ladies, they just want to like try to lose weight, you know, just try to be look more fit. You know, it is look. Um, okay, you go to the gym, right? And then when you do look in the mirror, you know what not necessarily what you're looking at, but how what kind of activity you're doing when you're looking in the mirror. Like I tell you this, okay, when I look in the mirror, I'm not like checking out every facet of my body, looking at the roundness, or it's like, you know, what I do is like once in a while when I'm doing something on an easy curl, then yeah, I'm checking out, you know, just how intense my body looks like. But really what I look in the mirror is like I'm looking at, you know, seeing if my hair's messed up, seeing if my shirt's, you know, straight. It's not so much, you know, what I'm trying to say is like these people are like looking at their bodies, and what I'm doing, I'm just looking at cosmetics of, you know, how my outfit looks at the gym. So it's not so much that I'm like, you know, sometimes it is like we sound, it's like a room full of, you know, bulimics talking about, you know, eating and how fat they are. Sometimes, you know, we're sitting there, we're talking about how, you know, weak we are. But the thing is it's not so much you can judge it on what these people are saying. It's just what they're doing when they look in the mirror. Toughness is for me, it's the currency of the realm, man. Toughness. Feats of strength go down at the gym, right? And you know, that's for me, that's, you know, where it's at, man. Um, it's impressive when you can do something that you haven't been able to do previously. That's one good thing about the gym. It's like, sure, there's like lifting heavier weights, but there's that knowing that you could not do something like that in months prior. Let me see. Um, okay, maybe you get a buddy when you go to the gym, right? Or you get a buddy online that you're talking with. The thing about starting a diet is, maybe you could take my approach of just doing one big diet for the whole year, or trying several diets back to back to see which one works for you. I think my way when I'm doing it for 2016, it's going to be more funner. Diets can be fun if you think about it. But you want to see what's going to work for you. Drink a lot of water. There's no use to like starving yourself because you're going to have cheat days, but you can fast, right? That is a factor. Fasting once in a while. You're not going to starve yourself to death by missing a meal. When you do feel like quitting, let me see. It's like I'm trying to like empathize. It's like, okay, let's suppose I felt like quitting and not going to the gym. It's like, God, tell you the truth, you'll get to a point where it's like, man, you don't want to quit. I mean, there's just so much capital in the workout. It's just like, man, the quitting is not so much the issue. It's just like getting something out of the workout. That's what you want to do at this point. You want to get something out of the workout, out of your diet. And quitting, and just how can I quit when I'm trying to work this thing out? Any questions, just chat me up or just put it in comments. I'm gonna go ahead and open it up if anybody wants to come in. And I hope your January went well. Hold on. All right, what kind of supplements do I take? I take fish oil too. They're just not like a daily thing. It's just like a perk up because it's the fish oil gummy. Okay, creatine intake. Obviously, the first thing that comes in your mind is like, well, Bunto, if you stop taking creatine, you'll start losing weight again. But the thing is, I think I took creatine. Well, I know I did. I took creatine when I was losing weight. I think I didn't take that much. Many people think like creatine is a steroid, but I just know it's just cosmetics. Just round you out. What they're getting into over the gym is, how you doing, Pyong?
What up, big dog?
What up? How have you been? Okay, a diet hangout.
Yes,
Okay.
diet is her name. Think about. Go ahead.
All right, y'all, it's so good to see you. Okay, how about you just tell our listeners your diet so far? I mean, what have you got your diet experience? Just off the top of your head, how you feel about it, what you did.
What I did with my diet?
Right. How'd you start? I mean, where were you at when you started your diet?
Well, see, I didn't really. Yeah, I guess I did change my diet. What I did with my diet was not horrible. Okay, I was never. I heard a horror story from my sister-in-law about how she only ate marshmallows for a week.
Right.
I was never that kind of I was never that kind of person. Okay.
Right. Oh, you muted out.
Yeah, chicken, fish, vegetables, grains, that, and I don't eat a lot of fast food to begin with, but I did eat. Basically got rid of pizza. I have like this is kind of gets into my philosophy, but what I did was I looked for substitutes that I liked, that I knew were healthy. So kale, I found that I loved kale. So I could saute kale and I could eat kale with everything. Okay.
Right.
So massive superfood vegetable, knocked out with all. So that was great. I did get rid of pizza, and then what I did with pizza was I said, okay, I'm not going to get rid of it totally, but like every 6 months, I'll have a pizza party where, which happens to fall on my birthday and my mom's birthday. Okay. Where I can have as much pizza, whatever kind I want, doesn't matter,
Yeah. Big cheat day.
Yeah, big cheat day. Yeah, big cheat day. The other thing that I did was smoothies. Again, this is part of this philosophy of finding healthy substitutes to augment my diet. Stuff that I like, not stuff that I'm like, oh, I got to eat this shit because it's like only carbs or whatever.
Truly.
Right. So what I did was I started eating smoothies, and tons and tons of smoothies, and that's been because I have a sweet tooth. So what I do is I have like banana strawberry smoothie in the middle of the day, and it totally knocks out the sweet tooth, and I'm not eating the cakes and the cookies and the candy and stuff.
Right. You're not like eating the box of donuts after you do the workout, right? Okay, just to tell our listeners, all right, you started at how much?
302, 302.5.
And how tall are you?
Bitches. 6 foot 6'3.5".
6'3", over 300 pounds. Okay, where are you at now?
230. The last time I haven't weighed myself in a while. The last time I weighed myself, I was at 62 pounds weight loss.
62 pounds weight loss.
All right. Sorry, 63.
63.
Whatever.
How long were you dieting?
Well, but see, that's the thing. It's not really dieting. Like
you don't like to consider it dieting.
No, it's not constraint. You see.
Okay, diet to you means constraint.
Well, no. Diet to me means like the totality of everything I eat.
That's
But,
true.
right. So my diet changed for the good, and so it wasn't like one day I started and like I basically eat the same that I did before, except I've made some like okay, soda is out, okay,
Okay.
but I didn't really drink a lot of soda anyway, you know. Um, Alcohol, try to limit
Right.
it, you know what I'm saying. But
Okay, let's talk about alcohol for a quick. Okay, what's
yeah,
bad about alcohol when you're trying to lose weight?
tons of calories because I like lagers, and tonight I am drinking, and I am drinking stout,
How?
and so I
Okay.
don't know. Let me look at how many calories is on this beer. This says 125, but I think it's bullshit
Right.
because it's Guinness. There's no way this can of Guinness has 125 calories.
Okay. How do you afford yourself alcohol? I mean, do you just have it every week or once a month or every 6 months or what? What's the idea
Well,
behind it?
see, yeah, it's basically once a month. Basically
Okay.
once a month. Like it basically fell along holidays, but anymore it's kind of like, man, if I want to get some beer, I'll get some beer, But I don't get a
Mm-hmm.
lot. That's the trick. See, you don't,
Okay.
I don't, I try definitely, I try not to buy 12 packs. I have this drugstore next to me that sells great beer cheap, and I
Right.
can literally go in there and buy a 12 pack sometimes for $5, and good stuff too. What I like Sierra Nevada, ale variety pack type deal for
Mm-hmm.
$5. I mean, that's awesome.
Okay. So
You know,
right now at this point, you feel like you've managed your intake. You know how to eat better.
manage my intake. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and I also it's what I burn. It's
All
yeah,
right. Let's talk about what I burned. Let's talk about activity. What have you learned about that?
yeah. Well, I
Okay. What would you tell yourself at 302?
every okay. So first of all, I think this is important. Are you live, Bunto?
We are live. We're
Okay.
talking. We're helping
So
people
the
with the
so
diet idea.
to folks out there, this is what I thought. I never thought I'm going to lose X amount of pounds where X is a variable equal to a number. Okay.
Right.
I never thought I was going to lose X amount of pounds. What I thought was I'm going to exert myself for an hour a day, 6 days a week. That was
Right.
my goal. It wasn't to lose a specific amount of weight. Okay. And so yeah, but I've basically met my goal. There have been some weeks where I didn't meet it for whatever reason, was lazy or whatever, didn't go in. But yeah, and the nice thing about it is it renews itself every week. So, I that's the way I look at it. I make sure that I don't defeat myself. About well, 2001, 2002,
Okay.
I stopped working out, and because every day I went in, I was working out like 2.5 hours, you know.
Right.
And if I didn't work out 2.5 hours, I was like, well, this is, I'm not really making gains. And I was in excellent shape.
Yeah.
But, I just stopped working out altogether for a lot of different reasons. So I having that experience of working out, and then I went into it kind of with a different mindset, and it has been
Right.
entirely successful. I mean, I've never wanted to stop. It's always been fun.
Good.
Mm.
That's a good idea to have. Okay, so I asked you, what would you go tell yourself at 302? What would the 302 Pyong say to you about what you're doing? Would they be amazed? Would it be like, wow, I cannot do that?
Well, if there was some way that I could talk across time,
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
I would like
But what would the
try to do
302
some
Pyong say to
better
you? Would it say
training.
like, there's no way I could do that? Would it be like less confident than you are now?
No, not at all.
Really? He would look at you and say, oh, now I know how to do it.
No, there was never any concern that I wouldn't do it or wouldn't make it or anything like that.
Okay.
I mean, when I first started, the only thing was I got massive blisters on the back of one of my feet. My right foot had
Okay.
these tremendous heel blisters, but I was just like, fuck it, and I just
Right.
powered through it.
Powered through it. Okay,
Mhm.
would the 302 Pyong say that what you're doing uh, was beyond them? That's really what I'm getting at. I mean, why
Oh
would they
no,
quit? You
no,
say, okay, you put the fun to it, right? So where it's like, quitting really isn't in your mind. But would that, cross the 302 Pyong saying like, oh man, I'm going to quit. I couldn't do it.
no.
Because
Mm-mm.
that's okay. When you talk to other people about dieting, they go tell you they do it for a week or two and then they quit.
Right, but see, that's deprivation. That's another thing. A lot of these diets, they're deprivation diets. They're saying, "Oh, I can't eat any fucking carbs." I gotta.
Right.
The only thing I can have is like bacon and over easy eggs over there. I ain't got any cheese. Oh wait, hold on. It's got to be. You know what I mean?
Such and so.
Right. For me, I wasn't like that. I said I can eat as much fruit as I want. Totally. I can eat as much grain as I want. I can eat as much kale as I want. It wasn't deprivation. It was like abundance. But in measure, it's not like magic. It's not unicorn magic or libertarian magic. No, no. You
We
have
love you,
to
Jeff.
work. You have to work for it.
Right. Okay.
So,
You would weigh
so
yourself.
what?
You would weigh yourself during this experience.
I'm not even big into weighing myself. To me, weighing yourself is like another way of keeping yourself accountable.
Well, okay, very good. Okay, you look in the mirror, right, and see
Yeah.
change.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I was wearing a 44, and I'm now at a 36. So,
Right. Things like
uh,
that. You got to get new clothes, man, because the old clothes are
yep,
just too big. All
yep.
right,
And the
Pyong.
the age of women who look at me is going down. Go ahead.
Right. I mean, you're getting, your attractiveness. You're going further down, further up in attractiveness. Okay,
Right. They're
Pyong.
like they're fucking piranhas. I want
This
to.
is
I
why I
want to.
love it.
I want to beat them with the bat.
Okay, this is what I'm getting at.
Hmm.
Plateaus. This part. I started off my new dieting for 2016 with a plateau, so I'm just trying to say how I'm fighting through it.
Now,
Um,
when you talk about plateaus, you're talking about like the real, really old ladies who pay you to have sex with them.
no, I'm talking about plateaus of, hey, this diet is not working.
Oh, right, right. That's what I mean too.
I,
Go ahead.
as far as old ladies are out of mind. Okay, the plateau experience. How did you get through it?
I just kept doing, man. I didn't even care. I was like, who cares?
Okay, you did
But
not care that you were not losing weight, even though you're doing all this activity,
because the
eating well.
achievement was, like 6 days. Can you hear that? Can you hear the explosions and shit going on in the background?
No, why is there explosions?
Can you hear it?
No.
Okay, never mind. It's my computer game. I'm playing a tank game.
Okay.
But anyway, so I
Okay, so you were not daunted
even
by
though well, hold
plateauing.
no no I'm sorry. Even though I plateaued on the weight loss, it was fine because I was still achieving my goal, which was like 6 days of exertion. You see what I
Okay.
mean? So it was okay. It didn't really matter that I did plateau for a long time though. It was like I didn't lose any weight, but I guess I was becoming a monster because I'm
You,
so much stronger than I was before
all
doing it.
right. Your
Mhm.
body adapted to what your activity was doing.
I guess. I don't know. Fucking bodies. I'll sue that bitch.
Okay, you don't look at the science behind it. You look more at the willpower and the anger, to do something.
The anger.
Well, the drive, the passion.
No, no, I do look at the science. Hold on, hold on. I gotta go get another beer. I'll be right back.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No problem. Monday, Monday.
Tits McGee. Tits McGee.
Tits McGee. Well, what I meant, just to go back,
Sorry.
what I was
Sorry,
saying.
Bunto. Sorry for the delay.
Oh no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm talking about the science behind it. It's like I've been having several conversations with Ermine. Remember her, Ermine?
Yeah.
And she's like very scientific with her approach to dieting, right? She hit me with this big old spreadsheet and and metrics and so forth.
Right.
But you, on the other hand, would advise just the willpower of telling yourself, "I'm going to exert myself," and then get the results from the willpower and not necessarily fussing over the
Okay.
metrics.
All right. Okay. So number one. All right. Let's get one thing out of the way. I would love to have me another slice of that Ermine. Okay.
Right? Well,
That's
maybe we
all.
never. She might
That's
be out there. Who knows?
that's what I'm talking about. Okay. Meatloaf and gravy. Mm,
All right.
mm. Okay. So as far as some people become pedantic about details, and I'm not exactly sure why.
Interesting. Pedantic.
Right.
Okay.
Overly
If
concerned with minute
minutia.
minutia. Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. That's one approach.
Now, why do they become concerned? I don't know. I don't allow myself to do that. I just think, hey, if I run, I like to run a 5K, which is 3.11 miles,
Mm-hmm.
three and an eighth. Okay, so I run about 3 and an eighth every day. You
Wow.
know,
That's good.
or when I go 6 days a week, whatever. So yeah, and then it doesn't matter what I eat. I eat what I want, but I do, like I don't
Okay.
drink.
There's some
Candy
people that will
bars.
take a simple approach, and there are some people that take a very arcana of approach of there's they can't see the forest for the trees.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Did you ever think about applying brute force to your experience where like you work double, like do 2 a days, and may deprive yourself? You said no, that's just not the approach for me.
No, I have done that. Yes, I have
Okay,
done
you
two
did
a
apply some
days.
brute force.
Well, yeah, sure. I did do 2 a days, and then also this summer I took on jobs that were like far more. Mm.
That
Oh,
sounds good.
the sweet blood of Jesus. Did you see that monstrosity, by the way?
No, tell me about it.
Oh my God, the Spike Lee joint. That's why you should just completely ignore when he's boycotting the Oscars. Watch
Okay.
that movie, and the entire time you're watching that movie, think: Is this Oscar worthy? Should Spike Lee be complaining?
Right. Okay.
The Sweet Blood of Jesus. It's terrible. It's a remake of a black exploitation movie where it's like a black vampire or something.
Oh,
From
Blackula. Wow,
no,
interesting.
it's not Blackula. No, no, no,
Oh,
no, no, no. It's like a black voodoo vampire.
all right.
The Sweet Blood of Jesus.
And it's
It's
not good.
terrible.
Oh,
No,
that's a
no,
miss.
it's terrible. It's like a horror movie, musical, comedy, drama.
I mean, too
The
much
Sweet Blood
there.
of Jesus. Yeah.
I remember Blackula. I remember William Marshall. What a fantastic actor he
No,
was.
you're absolutely right, and that is a black exploitation vampire movie. And when I said that, you are absolutely right to think of that. But the Sweet Blood of Jesus defies. It's a gender bending, monstrosity.
And he's myth because it wasn't recognized for the creative genius that
He's
is
out of
Spike.
his mind. Have you seen the stuff he's been doing lately? It's garbage. It's
This
terrible.
garbage.
It's garbage. Well, look, the Sweet Blood of Jesus. Hey, hang on, hold on.
Okay.
Are we in the Google Hangouts here? Let me see here. The Sweet Blood of Jesus. There we go. I'll go to Rotten Tomatoes, okay?
Okay.
This is my man. Hold on. Hang on. Hold on here just a second. Wait a minute. There it is.
Okay.
Clicky. Clickenstein.
Let me see if I can open this up. 42. So, not
No.
good.
Audience
Oh, yeah,
score.
18.
18% liked it. Whoa.
That's a good poster.
Whoa. Yeah, it is a good poster. Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Okay, just the Oscars in general, are they like using the correct method to ascertain what is the best movie? Okay, because look at the
Here's the
Nobel
thing.
Peace Prize.
No. But the thing is, here's my thing, Bunto. You can't look at the end result of the pool of like the winners. Okay, so
Okay.
day 37. Here's the pool of our winners, and this is their racial makeup. And they're a pool of our winners because of quality of film or something like that. Okay. And here's their racial makeup. And then what you say, oh, well, the racial makeup isn't sufficient. So we have to change it. But racial makeup isn't one of the determining
Right.
factors for quality for
Right.
being chosen for the prize.
The method
So
is wrong. Okay.
it's
Well, let me ask you
remarkably
this.
unimportant.
Let me
It
ask you this,
shouldn't
Pong.
matter at all.
Is it important to know if a movie is good right away that year? Or is it like after more time has gone past the year that you recognize the greatness of the movie?
Okay.
Like the Nobel Peace Prize, we
Hold
don't.
on. Hold on. I'm trying to trace your IP right now. I'm going to have you killed.
Okay.
When was the
Uh,
last time that you saw a movie and you were like, God damn, that movie really, really sucked? And then the next year you were like, damn, sweet Lord, I was wrong.
no, there's such a thing as not understanding a movie on its intro. For example, Doctor Strangelove. People didn't understand that movie when it came out, but after they, sank in for a bit, they recognized the greatness of like a Doctor
Okay, so
Strange.
that was the 1960s. Anything newer?
Well,
Like Battlestar Galactica Part 2?
the thing is, like on I'm kind of like the wrong person because I don't watch new movies, but I do
Right.
know that has happened in the past where a
It
movie
does.
came out
Yes.
and it's not accepted off on its face because it's just too different.
Right.
So it doesn't win anything, but then as time goes by, people realize that was a great movie.
You mentioned, I don't know if it was you or Jeff Keller that talked about kiddie porn in that way.
Okay, go ahead and elaborate because
No, it must have been Keller then.
poor Jeff.
Keller. Fucking
All right.
Keller and his kiddie porn. No,
And
yeah, but
what
it
happens
doesn't.
if they,
Usually, if a movie comes out and it's awesome, people know it's awesome right away, and they're like, "Wow, that's awesome," and it stays awesome. It doesn't go from stupid to awesome.
well, what happens is there's a hype machine behind the Oscars, right? There's manufactured Oscar
Well,
winners.
I
And
don't
then we
know.
realize that the movie that is selected as the Oscar winner really isn't as worthy as other movies that should have won later on.
But yeah, but certain movies are never going to make it in there, like The Sweet Blood of Jesus. When you have 13% of the audience liked it, no,
Right, I know what you're saying.
it's just
But
excluded.
what I'm trying to say that there's certain movies that, I think the method is wrong in ascertaining which is a good movie. Like, for example, Pulp Fiction. That wasn't
Well,
going to win any Oscars the
but
first year it came out,
no,
but it was.
no, but that's the whole deal with the Oscars. It's they're deciding who they say are the best. It is ultimately a conclusion that is subjective by them. So yeah, you can't say this is, oh, they shouldn't be doing it this way. I mean, not that you say it, but Jada Pickett Smith, for example,
Okay.
says it. Oh, they can't be doing it this way. Well, that's they're the group that issues the prize. That's their prize. Yeah, they're doing it right by definition. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. But there could be such an organization that could ascertain what is what was the best movie that came out of like a certain time period. Like, let's say a
Any
group
group
that
could.
at the end of 10 years would say, okay, this is the best movie of the decade.
Like to me, like right now, you and me make a group, and it's called the Monkey Jungle of Gorilla Squadron. Okay.
How much have you been drinking, Pyong? Just get real.
Why? Huh? You have to be racist now? You
I
gotta
was
be
wondering about the Monkey
racist?
Jungle part.
Because
I was
I
like, well, how
said
much have you been
Monkey
drinking?
Jungle Gorilla Squadron? Huh? You have to be racist now and say that I'm drinking?
Well, okay. Why not have a better
Hold
body?
on. So the Monkey Jungle Racist Squadron,
Right.
we determined that the best movie. What was the best movie you saw last year? Mad Max.
Okay, they tell me that is a good movie.
Yeah. Okay.
As
So we agree. You haven't seen it. Who cares? You'll lie. Okay. So
no, but I
you
mean, if I
lie. You vote for it. I vote for it. Okay. Boom. Get movie of the year. Right. Okay. So
well, I prefer a movie of a time period. I don't. If our group, we're gonna have the movie of the
okay.
year is a
So
failed
it's the
methodology.
movie of autumn. The circus monkey
No, no, no,
chimpanzee
no. Listen,
Zamboni
no,
driver
no.
gorilla
Try to have
squadron.
a moment of lucidity and understand that what I'm indicating is that the method is incorrect. The
No,
method should not be
it,
an annual movie. It should be a movie over a period of years. It should.
whatever. Who cares what the term is?
No, no.
But if
Whatever.
you
What we're
and I,
trying to do is
you and I
ascertain the
determine
best
that,
method of getting a movie. Now,
but that's what you're
it's
asking me. They
well,
can make whatever
well, I think is
choice
I'm
they
asking
want.
you the serious question, and you
Mhm.
just don't want to approach it that way. But
No, no. The, the
what is
the
wrong
answer
with
to
it?
the no. The answer to the serious question is they can choose whatever movie they want. And what I was saying with our jambalaya, crawfish pie, chimpanzee, monkey, gorilla squadron was that when we created a group, we could determine what our best movie of the year or autumn or whatever time period you want to use is. See?
Hilarious. Anyway,
You see what I'm
so
saying?
is anything else piqued your interest besides movies?
But no, you're the one who brought up movies. You were
Oh, was
talking
I? Oh,
about
I thought. Oh, well, you
yeah,
were talking
you were
about the
talking about the
movies.
Oscars. You were talking about racial Oscars.
Well, I was talking about the racial Oscars. Well, I really don't know much about the protest that's going on. I just know that they are. Um, what would you say? Bringing it to attention that there was no African American uh,
Okay.
what people selected.
So, yeah, well, let me lay it out though. I mean, if
Go ahead.
you select four black people, that is racist, okay? And
Yes.
the reason why affirmative action is allowed is because that it's racist, okay? It's selecting somebody based on their race, but the reason it's allowed is because it is justified by a substantial and prolonged historical injustice. Okay.
Okay.
So
All right.
that's why we have affirmative action. It is
Right.
racist for sure, but we have it because of like slavery, so you had to have a lever to readjust. Okay. And that
Okay.
that is literally the legal justification of it. Okay. If you're moving into things nowadays, you can't lever that kind of stuff. You have to one thing that I have been pointing out to some of my friends is like the reason that the protests on the universities have been successful and they've been getting rid of the chancellors and university presidents. Do you know why, Bunto?
Was it because of the weighted approach to their? Well, I know money is a factor, but go ahead.
Okay. The Department of Education gave guidance to universities that were receiving federal financial aid, which is basically every state university, and
Yeah.
millions and millions. Okay. And they said, we take harassment very seriously. This is under the Obama administration. We take harassment very seriously and we will prosecute. DOJ has said that they are going to pursue causes of action of harassment on university campuses.
Okay.
But they were ambiguous. They didn't define exactly what that meant or blah, blah, blah. But everybody knew if you were found guilty of this harassment, harassment occurred on your campus, you'd lose your federal financial funding, which tens of millions of dollars. I mean, it would cripple your state university system.
Okay.
And so some professional victim class professors, and that might sound extreme to you, but they exist,
Okay.
got a hold of that information and they disseminated it to student protesters. and they said, okay, these are the words you want to use: harassment, and I feel threatened, and they basically broke down the cause of action of harassment, and they said you want to say this element and that element and that element, so that if it ever went to a court of law, they could prove harassment.
Okay.
So when you have that kind of situation, that's why the chancellors are now saying, you know what, I'm just going to resign.
Right.
When the
Okay.
students are saying we feel harassed by the chancellor, and the chancellor's like, okay, well, I'm out of here. Because you see what I'm saying? If the chancellor were to do something that were to get them sued by the federal government and they lose federal funding for the entire state, you see how
Okay.
massive that would be? Okay.
Now.
So hold on, wait a minute. That's only part of it. I'm sorry, Bunto, to cut you off.
Okay.
That's the student part. That's why the student protests are effective. That does not translate out of the university system. You see what I'm saying?
All right.
So there
The first thing that.
are a lot of people who are like protesting other shit, and they think it's going to happen because they're saying they're being harassed and stuff, and there's no legal effect to it whatsoever.
Yes, I can see what you're saying.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, but just going back, if I treated the university, so just speaking about the university idiom as like an evolutionary environment, okay, so now there's this new challenge to chancellors. So we're just weeding out the weaker chancellors for the better ones. Chancellors that are unafraid
No,
to
no.
stand up to
That just explains some of the
a false assertion.
behaviors. Like there was a University of Missouri president, I think, who stepped down. That's the explanation for the behavior.
The
That's
football team
because,
went on strike.
well, yeah, but fuck them, they're idiots, you know.
Are they?
So yeah, they are. What should happen is that the Supreme Court should take a case. A student should sue and say, I feel harassed and I can get my respect, and and then that's why I can't go to class and they owe me millions of dollars. And so the Supreme Court should take that case and say, no, fuck you, go back to
Okay.
class. That's what should happen.
All right. Fair
Yes.
enough. I mean, that could be,
But
something that. That's why we have the Supreme Court, right, Sean?
that's one of the utilitarian functions of the Supreme Court. Yeah. Trace back what I said. Remember, in the beginning, I said there was ambiguity regarding what harassment meant. You
Okay.
see,
So
once
let's
that
get.
ambiguity is clearly defined, then they're going to say, "Hey, fuck you guys." You can't go professional victim this one.
Okay. Professional victims, in your eyes, are all wrong. They really don't have any actual grievances worthy.
Well, what's a professional victim?
Professional victim would be identified as somebody who's always saying that there's something wrong with this current system that they're in, that they are themselves being singled out and persecuted. Is that fair?
Okay,
Somehow, whatever system they're in, they are persecuted.
if I was if I got a job and there was a bunch of people that I was working with, okay, and there was one person who always complained, I would listen to him and I would say, "Hey, why are you complaining? Is
Okay.
there really something going on?" One of the things, okay, this is like from my history,
Okay.
but I was the president of the American Society of Mechanical Engineers at my university.
That's
Okay,
very good. Congratulations.
which, well, thank you.
Mm.
But it required a lot of public speaking, so I would have to get up and I would have to talk to sometimes rowdy, individuals, and
Crowds.
they were nerds, and they were like, they were all very smart, you know what I mean? So they would say their mind and stuff. And um what the I forgot where I was
The
going with this
professional
one.
victim that these people may would take advantage of the opportunity to find some sort of victimhood that they're about. That they're so smart that they would like find some flaw that they could bring to your
No,
attention?
these guys weren't victims, but I can't remember what I was talking about. Doggone it.
Well, I asked you what a professional victim was, like exact. Was they have any actual grievances worthy?
Oh, I remember. I'm sorry, Bunto. I remember what I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So you get into these public discussions, or presentations, and people would question you and things like that. And many people would just like shout things out, like blah blah blah, like bullshit, that ain't right. So the best
Okay.
way to quiet somebody like that was to call them up and say, okay, come up here.
Yes.
And
What is your
you
position?
take the right, you tell everybody, and they would get up on stage and they would look out and they would see like there's 60, 70, 100 people looking at them, and they'd be like, ah. And then you could say, okay, well, I'll tell
That's
you what,
effective.
it is effective, I'd say. And sometimes they could get it out, and that was good. And I'd say, okay, well, thank you very much, and we're definitely going to we're going to talk about that. You know what I mean? And
Right.
sometimes it would shut them right the fuck up, though. They'd be like, no, that's okay. And
Okay.
that's okay. So if you get somebody out there and they're complaining, yeah, you bring it in. You say, okay, does it have merit? Let's evaluate it on its merits every time, the moment they bring it up. Okay.
Right.
But that is a very empathetic human thing to do, but it also gives deference to people who would abuse that position.
I can see that also.
Okay. So you have to be wary of that. But in most cases, people don't do that. Um,
Okay, let's call that gaming the system. Is that fair? People that could game the system.
everybody can game the system. Yeah. Okay, but yes, I'm willing to go. Go ahead.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that this person comes forward, says that there's something wrong with the system, right, and is very adept at pointing out a flaw in the system, but they're like not looking at it constructively, Pyong. They're looking at to tear down the system, right? Like we would say that indicating something wrong in the system is to improve it, but a professional victim wants to find nothing but wrong things in order to get advantage for his position. What do you think of that? It's a guy who comes forward and says, well, this is wrong, but you realize that they are just not searching for improvement. They're looking for just to dismantle the
I
system.
think it's a constructive way of describing what all human beings do when they attempt to persuade that they have been wronged in the past. So they will
Okay.
create a narrative and they'll say, I have been wronged in the past because
Well, how
of
about
X,
this,
Y,
Pyong?
and Z.
Many people come up to me and say, since I'm a Native American, do I have any grievances against the white man? Right?
Yes,
They
right,
have to tell me, and I'm like, well, I really don't have any.
right.
You know what I mean? It's just not foremost of mine, but these people can
Wait a minute.
find
Hang on.
grievances.
Hang on. Yet they. Okay, hold on just a second.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Smallpox.
Right, or
Hey,
smallpox by cancer.
whoa. Firewater. Okay. That's
Right.
what I'm saying to you.
Or
All right.
something lately, they have a picture at this Whitesboro where there's a white person choking an Indian for their
Kill,
seal.
kill, kill that motherfucker.
But what I'm trying to say is
Kill
that there's also these
this.
class
The
of
Thunderbird is speaking to you.
okay, but anyway, what I'm trying to say that there's this sort of people that what would you call advocates for just stirring up. I wouldn't say the troublemakers, but they're advocates for stirring up, discord, disharmony between, our progressive outlook. And maybe that's what Okay, so the ideological professors found this edict that came from our federal government, and they want to use it, to advocate destruction of the system itself, right? That they're using the student protests. Could I
Yeah.
characterize it like that?
Yeah, sort of. I mean, yeah, that's kind of that's an Indiana Jones romancing the stone way of putting it, right? Yes.
Well, that's what you indicate, that these people are taking it upon themselves to disseminate to the student body what is wrong when they wouldn't find it out themselves.
Right. No. Oh no, it's an entire fiction, Bunto. That's an entire fiction. The entire thing that they put together is a fiction. That
Okay, so
was
what campus, just for example, is this really effective? Is it Berkeley, or is there any sort of campus that is totally bending to the will of the student body? Missouri?
bending to the will of the student body. I guess that just depends. Yeah, they're all different. Yeah. No, but the reason they're bending, the reason that they're not really bending to the will of the student body, but what's happened is harassment has been defined in an ambiguous
I
way,
understand that.
and they could lose their federal funding. So the responses to them are very, very weak. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, you know that.
The one thing that I can say about all of the responses is that they're incredibly weak.
Right.
That's one generalization I could make.
You know, an interesting strategy that popped to mind is like, what if a group of individuals, professors, manufactured their own discontented student body, you know, and just introduced them to whatever university that they wanted to take advantage of.
Welcome to gender studies.
Okay, so gender studies is that.
Oh yeah.
All right, for example, just to tell our
Yeah.
audience, which, you know, where is this, like at Columbia or NYU, where they have a gender studies where they're just social justice warriors warring against the, you know, the ivory tower? I really don't know much about the MRA
Bunto.
issues.
No, it's not an MRA. No,
Hmm.
no.
Well, I
That's
mean, you know, that whole third wave feminism, I really don't know much about it.
that's institutionalized educational feminism, and it is everywhere, Bunto.
Now it's everywhere.
No. I don't think you understand. There's no place it is not.
Okay, well, now it's everywhere. There's no place where it's not.
Yeah,
Okay, I go into a university system, I'm going to notice this third wave feminism advocacy.
depends. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay.
Sure, I'll be right back to you. Let's take a quick minute break.
Okay, buddy.
Oops, I put the old ones on.
Hello.
Hello,
What's
I'm
up,
glad
buddy?
you're back. Okay, well, you know, it's very intriguing what you say about gender studies. What
Right.
crossed my mind is this. It's like, okay, you say that it is everywhere, that I can find it on most major campuses. Is that fair to say?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Now, what I've heard, Pyong, about gender studies is that, you know, the third wave feminists has a certain way of interpreting and observing actions that come towards her, you know, towards her way. Like, for example, a simple greeting can be interpreted as some sort of rape. Have you guys heard that? I mean, have you heard that, Pyong? That I say hello and that's interpreted as some sort of sexual aggressive advance. on my part?
Well, first of all, we have to go backwards and say what is third wave feminism.
Okay. Okay, please. You want
Well,
to
no,
elaborate?
you told me that you heard third wave feminists, blah blah blah. So I don't know what third wave feminists are.
Third wave feminism is a different creature than traditional feminism. Like, if they would ask me today, do I consider myself feminist? I would say yes, because I think of like Alda and Alda. Third wave feminists today are individuals who are advocating for, games to be fixed, that they say games objectify women. They have like safe centers on university campuses where they can give meetings because they believe that they're going to be under assault from men. What else do they do? They believe that, like I said, indicated earlier, that any sort of like greeting could be a possible sexual advance from a man. Have you heard about these things? These are just things that I've, heard off the grapevine here about third wave feminism.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, sign me up. Stop raping me, Bunto.
So what's interesting is that, you said that there's this edict coming from the Obama administration about harassment, that they're going to definitely crack down on instances of it, right? So here's a hypothetical. Let's say, I sign up on a campus, I'm going to school, and I see a female, and I say, hello, that's a pretty outfit that you have. And that's interpreted as some sort of sexual advance by this third wave feminist, right? And
How
that's
many times must I be raped by this man?
what happens is subsequently they drum me out of the universities for sexual harassment. You see, and if I wanted to, have an action on that, bring that up to the court of law, I mean, would I be, in any way successful in indicating that all I was a simple greeting, or would they?
Well, it's a reversal of the victim predator kind of dynamic, but yeah, you wouldn't have to word up, dude. Yeah, Bunto, Bunto, what you said, buddy?
I don't know. What I was just saying, it's like,
No, yeah, I agree. I'm saying what you said is right.
okay, well, what I'm trying to get with the hypothetical, Pyong, I mean, could I be successful, or would I be unsuccessful in today's environment? Would I actually be considered harassing that woman for just saying what I
Okay,
said?
harassment is like well, first of all, typically it's a state's thing. Okay,
Okay.
state's law, and but that's why. Well, and it's federal as well. But
Okay.
the problem is when when Department of Education said to the universities, we're going to pursue causes of action for harassment that could lead to you losing federal financial aid if you're found guilty, then the state university said, wow, what does that exactly mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't able to come up with a good answer. Okay.
Right.
So that's what that means. And we have to kind of, that's all that means. So now what you were talking about other than that was what?
Well, what I'm trying to say, well, let me see if I can come up with a simile of Pyong. Pyong, in World War II, there was times when the U-boats, the German U-boats had a successful campaign against the Allies, right? And then another thing of technology would come up where the U-boats wouldn't be as successful, right? There was, happy seasons, and then there was times when they were, destroyed on sight. Is it a happy season now for third wave feminism, that they have the sea to themselves? They are controlling.
No clue. I mean, obviously because you had to define what third wave feminism was for me today, I have obviously no idea what the status of the movement is.
Well, the
But
thing is, like you said, that it's everywhere.
hang on, with the U-boats, the reason the U-boats became remarkably less effective was because the Allies captured one of their code machines.
Mm-hmm.
And were able to determine logistically where they were going to go. But yeah, as far as like third wave feminism, bro, I don't know. Why do Hawaiians put marshmallow on everything? I don't
But you
fucking
said
know.
that it's everywhere, so why would you say it's everywhere if you don't know what it is?
Oh, no, I know what you're using the term third wave feminism. I'm not using that term.
Okay, well,
I'm not exactly sure what that means.
you don't make any distinction with your
No.
feminism.
Yeah, no. What I'm talking about is I didn't say, I said perpetual victim class. You're the
Specifically, you
one
said
who,
gender studies.
yes, I did specifically say gender studies, but as far as feminism and stuff, you've put all that stuff in there.
Well, what is
Okay.
gender studies? Go.
I'm just making the, as far as what I said, if you're trying to clarify what I said,
Please, for
then
the listeners.
what I said was like, and I think that is the thing that is news to you, that is
Okay.
surprising to you,
Okay.
is that there is an ideology that is spread that is not true. It's kind of like a religion.
Interesting.
But
Kind of
you
like a
didn't know
religion.
about this. You didn't know about this?
Okay.
Hold on, stop, Bunto.
I
Stop
did
with
not
the.
know about
Okay,
your.
I'm just. Hold on, stop with the fucking for our listener bullshit. Okay, you don't know about this, right? You don't know
I'm
about this.
sorry,
Okay,
but I'm just.
no, that's okay. I got a book for you, buddy.
Okay.
Okay, I have a book for you. I'm not saying that it is the end all be all. Okay, but it's a good place to start to see. Wow, how fucked up this shit is. Christina Hoff Sommers, Who Stole Feminism?
Interesting. Okay. Who's
That's the
the?
book you need to read first.
When did the book come out?
I don't know.
Ballpark.
Christina, I don't know. Bunto.
2000s.
Christina Hoff Sommers. Well, look it up on the fucking Google.
Okay, you put
Here.
it forward. I have to look it up. Okay. The religion of gender studies.
Hold on. You don't even really care.
Yes, I do care. Why? What gives you the indication? I think this is fascinating. Um, Gender studies. I mean, tell me more about the, please.
I don't give a shit. I'm looking something up.
Okay,
I'm doing research here.
thanks.
Okay,
Put
so
forward the
this
assertion.
is. Don't give me that bullshit. Here. It's right here. This is the Amazon page, I guess. Let's see.
All right, let me take a quick look at
Yeah,
it.
that's the Amazon. Who Stole Feminism? Okay. Philosophy
This
professor Christina Summers has exposed.
1995 for the
Well,
paperback.
but I don't think that's the original publication date.
Okay.
I think it was. It may be. I don't know. Anyway, how a group of zealots claiming to speak for all women are promoting a dangerous new agenda that threatens our most cherished ideals and
Mm-hmm.
sets women against men in all spheres of life. Okay,
Okay.
so this is kind of a crazy abstract there, but yeah, that will. The thing about that book, even if ultimately you don't agree with it because you like
Okay.
whatever, that will lay out the metes and bounds of the war.
Okay. Now, 1994. All right. This book you find today is very accurate in what is going on with gender studies. Yourself.
Dude, there is nothing going on with gender studies. It's like astrology.
All right. Okay. Gender studies is like astrology.
Yeah, that's right. So, like it's like, oh, like, 6 months ago astrology was bullshit, but now it's awesome. It's the same thing.
All right. But yet it's being taught at our major universities.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Fuck yeah it is, dude. You can
Okay.
you can go to a university and learn something ridiculously useless.
Okay. All right. Things that are taught at our major universities that are ridiculously useless, on the whole, they should be removed, I believe. They should be
Well,
revealed as being ridiculously, biased, something that's terribly biased that has no use.
hang on. I think that it's important to make a distinction between esoteric, that which is known by a few, versus something that has almost no utility or including academic value.
All right.
Okay, so you understand what I'm saying? There's a massive difference. Even though, like say like there's one type of caterpillar that lives on a soybean on the very northern, tip of Kentucky.
Right.
And there's one guy, and he's like, I remember this bug all my life, and my grandpa told me stories about this bug, and he's an entomologist. Okay, go ahead, bro. Study that caterpillar on the soybean. Go ahead, have at it, knock it out.
That
Put
is
some,
esoteric.
that's esoteric. Then there's something where you try to promulgate information that is false, like a pyramid scheme. A
Okay.
pyramid scheme has no knowledge value. What the one guy does esoterically out there in the soybean field with the caterpillar, that has knowledge value because he's actually coming up with information that really happened. But you have somebody promulgating a pyramid scheme. There's no knowledge value in the pyramid scheme.
Okay. Has anybody successfully demonstrated that gender studies has no knowledge value as of yet?
Okay, Bunto, read the book. Okay.
Well, okay, so I take that as a yes.
No. You can't take it as anything. You have to read that book first because you don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, I'll agree with that. That I really am not familiar, but
I'm not saying that to insult you.
Yes or no? Well,
you want to be insulted? Fuck you. Be offended. Go ahead.
No,
burn the world down, motherfucker.
I'll just say for the
burn
record,
it down.
I'll just say for the record, Pyong, you're one of my dearest friends online, and I totally appreciate. And honestly, your opinion is very valuable. I've told you this before. I always value your opinion. So when you say things like that,
with the "Can I touch your butthole?"
Yeah, I haven't seen one of those in a while. But anyway, no, I do value.
Never happened.
And it's not so much that I feel that you're insulting me, but I mean you just indicated, something that. I'd like to have more information about, gender studies.
On its face, something that doesn't seem credible to you.
Well, the thing is like this. I'm just using the common sense approach, saying that there are these things that have no value that are being taught. There are these things that have no value being taught in our higher academia. Surely somebody's come forward and said that, listen, these things are specious. There has to be a child out in the audience. I mean, a child out in the crowd saying the emperor has no clothes.
Oh, yeah.
Eventually that person is successful.
Read the book, Bunto.
Read the book. I understand that part. Okay. I'll read the book.
Right.
I'll take pains to read it. See if I can get a good copy.
So, but it's hard to say that because, okay, now hold on. Let's back up just a little bit. Back up about 30 feet. Good. Turn to the right just a second. Now, you said that you support Trump.
Yes, sometimes just propel the conversation.
He's a winner. I'm really, really, really good at this. I'm really good.
Okay, Trump.
I'm amazing.
The thing about Trump is you told me once a very wise thing that the person will say anything in the general, but when he gets in the in the primary, but when he gets in the general, he will come more towards the mainstream.
Back to the middle.
So now we have to see, once Trump ostensibly does win the nomination, what kind of, is he? I don't believe he can sustain what he's saying now in the general.
Right, because his policies are insane.
Well, okay. How about this? I'll give this much to Trump.
Breaks all the political rules. Go ahead.
Trump may say a policy that sounds insane now in the primaries, but he can demonstrate it in the general as being less. I mean, insane as being sane. Like for example, he wanted a moratorium on Muslim immigration. He could present that successfully.
Well, perhaps if you cherry pick individual things, yes, maybe. But one of the policies that he said was that he would lock down the trade deficits. He would eliminate trade deficits. It would crush our economy overnight, Bunto.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, economists look at Trump's proposals and they laugh at them.
Right.
Because they're like, no, you can't do this.
Right. We're all Keynesians now.
No, Bunto, no.
Well, I mean, that's
no.
That we could not eliminate trade deficits.
No, Bunto. If you eliminated trade deficits, you would. Okay, Like say I'm your bank, okay, and you owe
Okay.
$300,000 on your house, and I come to you and I say, I want all my money now. You know,
I'd crash and
you'd say no, fuck no, you don't. And you'd work from there. But that would be and that's if you eliminated trade deficits immediately,
I
that's
understand that.
exactly that would be the effect.
I understand that.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say to you is that, he may indicate that in the primary, but in the general, he may say, well, this is what I really meant.
Right, but that doesn't matter because he put that forth as a policy, and it's
It's
ridiculous.
happened many times in the
No,
past.
no, 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 it hasn't,
Yes,
Bunto.
yes, it
No,
has many
no,
times in the
no,
past
no.
where a
When they,
candidate has put
when,
forth
no,
something in the
no,
primary and extended and revised in the general.
it doesn't. Yes, that has happened, but the Bunto,
Thank you. Thank
he
you for
has
admitting
put,
that much, Pyong.
yes, yeah, no, yeah, and things have been modified, sure, between primary and general, sure. Should it even be stated?
That's
But
what I'm saying.
Trump's ideas are so absolutely absurd that to implement them would destroy the United States of America.
I completely understand
Yeah.
that. But of
Okay.
course,
So
what we're
that's a
saying is
little
things that he's
different
saying
than
in the
saying there's a
primary.
modification from the general from the primary.
No,
Okay.
it's exactly right.
No,
Pyong,
no, no,
so just so that
no,
you can
no,
understand what I'm
no,
saying, a
Bunto. It's
person.
not. It's
Could
not
I finish,
different.
please? No.
No, it's because you're wrong.
No, I'm not wrong.
No, it
I'm
is.
not wrong about people saying something in the primary and then extending and modifying in the general.
That's but Bunto, how do you extend and modify the fact that you want to eliminate all of the trade deficits? Extend and modify that for me so that it
That is
doesn't
called the
destroy
genius of politics. He may
no,
say that's what it
no,
sounded like,
no.
but this is
See,
what he
that's
really
ridiculous,
meant, and it
Bunto.
may be.
That you just dodged the question. There was no answer
No, I
there.
was answering it for
Yeah,
you,
no.
Pyong.
Go ahead.
Pyong,
Go ahead.
just so our listeners understand what extend and modify is. It's usually a point where a politician has said something that they want to take back, that they want to walk back or recalibrate. There's another word, recalibrate, right? So what I'm saying is, yes, the candidate may do whatever it takes to get his party's nomination, but then when he's called to exactly what he did mean during the general, he would recalibrate, revise, and
No,
extend.
there's the dynamic is actually primary voter versus general election voter. Okay, that's the dynamic that I think you're trying to capture. The primary voter is usually more hardcore. They really pay attention to the individual planks of their party's dogma, and they believe in it. No, so Republicans are like no abortion, lower taxes, climate change is bullshit.
Okay.
These kinds of things. Okay. All right. It's brand identification. All right. Now, what you were talking about before, though, is the explanation of phenomena, and Trump's explanation of phenomena is wrong. Okay.
All
I'm
right.
just saying.
What you think? You're saying that you can guarantee for a fact that he will not revise and extend when he hits the general.
Well, that's what I just said with regard to the primary. The voters in the primary are red meat voters.
Yes.
Okay, but if all you have, they also are ideologically pure. So if
Sure.
all you have in the general are the primary voters, you're done. But
Okay.
the
There's a good
dichotomy that you were describing was primary general.
That's a great observation, saying that
Uh-huh.
okay, when he does win the nomination of his party, he's only going to have the primary thinking electorate. He won't be able to obtain any of the middle ground moderates.
Well, think about if you're Hispanic. Think if you're Hispanic and you listen to what Trump said about we're building a wall and we're making Mexico pay for it. Fuck them. They're the reason
That's a good point.
we're fucked up.
Now
Yeah,
you said Hispanic, right?
are you gonna come back? Are you coming back to that?
I can
Are you
guarantee
gonna say,
you.
oh no, Trump in the general, just because now 2 months have passed, now you're gonna say, oh no, Trump's the shit.
Well, that's the thing about your example. The thing is that I just know for a fact that there is a Hispanic facet that will vote for Trump. It's called the Cubans.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
So I mean, yes, they will be a Hispanic
What
voter
I'm only
for
talking about are
Trump.
subjective predictions. I mean, and you're talking about that too. So we can disagree on subjective predictions, but we
Well, what I'm trying to say is, like, if I was a strategist for Trump, I would congratulate him on winning the nomination of his party. But then I would advise him that he would have to definitely change what he meant by everything that he did say in the primary if he expected to win the presidency of the United States.
Well, first
Because,
off, let's remember we haven't had a single caucus, a single primary yet. Okay, nothing. We haven't had anything. If Trump wins, now Trump is great at sensationalism and creating media coverage.
Yes.
But when it comes to winning, we'll see what happens. He might win, he might not.
Okay. The candidate that has all those great qualities, but the message is, won't take him to the top of the pyramid. Isn't, he has to change. He has to change his message in order to win the presidency.
I don't know.
He has the talent, but he has to change the message.
Who?
Trump. Trump has the talents that you indicated. He has charisma. He can get a message out. He can get buzz. The thing is that the message itself will hold him back from the presidency.
No.
Okay. Unless, here's the thing.
Wait,
I just thought of a counter to that.
Stop. I'll tell you. I'll tell you a little story, okay?
Okay. Please, thanks.
One of the reasons why the Republican Party is in tatters right now is because they are in the throes of a civil war.
Interesting.
There is a schism in the Republican Party, and it is the GOP, the grand old party, the people who are wrap your arms around your neighbor, okay, versus the ideological purity of the proto-Tea Party movement.
Okay.
So Ted Cruz is an outsider Tea Party. Now, most of let me say this, the Tea Party essentially gained most of its momentum from Ron Paul. Okay. That's why they have ideological purity. You see what I'm saying? Because Ron Paul basically was uncorruptible. Okay. And so a lot of these people, they say, well, we're not gonna compromise, and by God, because of this. And they're emulating Ron Paul, really. But they're emulating the superficial characteristics of Ron Paul. Okay. Not necessarily, and in many cases, not necessarily why Ron Paul was successful. Okay. But you've got this Tea Party movement that came off of the Ron Paul ideology being disseminated amongst Republicans, particularly those who had access to social media. If they were on Facebook or YouTube or what have you, they saw these messages from Ron Paul, and the mainstream media wasn't giving him a lot of time in 2008, but he was able to get it on YouTube. Okay. So people like that, and that created this what I call proto Tea Party movement. What happened was Dick Armey, who was a Republican operative, got in front of the Tea Party movement, and he offered the Tea Party movement logistical support and what you might say a command structure.
Okay. All right, organization, yeah.
Right, organization, exactly. Organization. Right. So they filled right in, and they essentially became Republicans. But that strain, that ideological strain, is still there, and the purity, the desire for purity is there. So you've got GOP Republicans like Mitch McConnell, who is the majority leader in the Senate from Kentucky, senator. And he wants to make deals. He's not a big deal maker. Mitch McConnell used to not be Mitch McConnell used to be an outsider. Now he's the deal maker in the Senate. Okay, and the outsiders, these proto Tea Party people, they're like, fuck that. We're not making compromises. We're destroying the system. Fuck the system.
Shutting down departments.
Right. So that is the civil war within the Republican Party.
Okay. Could I characterize it this? Okay,
go ahead.
I was just saying, sorry to interrupt, Pyong. Just for our listeners, that we have the established Republican Party that want to remain in power, and then we have the proto-Tea Party that want to change things.
Right, and the proto-Tea Party are now in power as well. Ted
Right.
Cruz would be a Tea Party or whatever Tea
The
Party,
establishment
you know.
Republican Party look at the Tea Parties and they're worried about them retaining power.
See, that's just the rhetorical polish on the outside of it. Fundamentally,
Okay,
when they
what are they
get
worried
in,
about?
what do they get? What happens, Bunto? Like you and me are in the G plus pool, right? So we get in there,
Okay.
we meet each other. We're like, yeah, buddy, we're cool, right? We're buddies. So we're gonna work together, right? Same thing
Okay.
happens when you slide into the Senate. When you slide into the Senate, you meet all the Republicans, and you'll probably meet a bunch of guys that you're like, yeah, we're cool. Let's do this. You know,
Okay.
same thing.
If establishment Republicans realize that the proto-Tea Party candidate is better, they still won't support them. They'll still support their own established, ideas of
Let's
Republican.
talk about Mitch McConnell's relationship. Mitch McConnell is a Senate Majority Leader from Kentucky.
Right.
Let's talk about his relationship with Senator Ted Cruz from Texas
Right.
and Senator Rand Paul from Kentucky.
Okay.
Both of them are considered Tea Partiers. Okay.
Yes.
Cruz came in. He's got sharp elbows. He's slimy. He's nasty too. He's real mean.
Okay.
You gotta grease the skids, man. You gotta make friends with everybody.
Just to give an advantage, he was going to stop the budgeting. Remember, he was going to cause
He
a
fucked
shutdown.
all kinds of shit up, dude. I could give you a litany. Let's just call him sharp elbows. All right.
Okay.
So what happens? Nasty. Mitch McConnell, his junior senator from Kentucky, is also a Tea Party or Rand Paul. They get along fine. Mitch McConnell supports Rand Paul. Rand Paul supports Mitch McConnell. You dig what I'm talking about, baby. It's who gets along with who. The Tea Partier stuff, the GOP stuff, it's just brand. It's just brand. That's
okay. Okay. Okay, just to go back, see if I can get back. Okay, so far that Trump would have to change his message if he got the nomination of his party. Well, I just thought of a counter. I wanted to get out. I don't think he would have to change his message, Pyong.
No.
For example, if he was running against Senator Bernie Sanders.
I think it's simpler than that, Bunto. If he wins, that means his message won. Go for it.
That's good. Okay. Would you be shocked if he won the nomination of his party?
Oh, Trump has everything that Trump continues, Trump continuously goes negative. Trump always says shit against the other Republicans that sticks, which is amazing.
Right.
I mean, most of Trump's attacks stick. He says Jeb is low energy. He says Rubio is like he doesn't go to work. He's weak. He's small.
Okay.
I mean,
these are effective.
Right, and they're effective. He called Cruz slimy. I mean, when he attacks somebody, it sticks, which is like on. And I mean, opposition research, political opposition research people would kill to have like the
very good point,
the stick ratio that Trump has.
The talent that he has.
Yeah, I mean, which is amazing because for the longest time I thought, wow, this is going to be funny. Trump is going to be a novelty candidate, and he's doing a tremendous amount of damage.
But week after week of leadership. Now remember, just to tell our listeners, he was at a deficit 2 weeks ago. He made it up for just saying that Ted Cruz was a slime ball, right?
Well, but he does more than that, though. He's made inroads on the radio. Because Republicans have Fox News, they've got talk radio, and they've got social media, and then they've got like the Drudge Report. Trump has made inroads in Fox News. Trump has made inroads in radio talk show hosts now. And now he's also made inroads in social media, and like Drudge Report is starting to talk nice about him.
Okay.
So yeah, Trump is a monster.
Okay.
It's really interesting for me to watch Trump and see what's going on.
I'm in the locker room with Trump, and I tell him he has to change
his eat his jugular.
I tell him that he has to change his message. He says, "No, I don't, Bunto. It depends on who I'm running against." He is
if you're in a room with Trump and he talks to you, just listen to what he says and just and ask him if he'll give you a loan.
Okay, but he is wise for saying, no, Bunto, I don't have to change my message. It's dependent on who I'm running
Dude,
against.
fucking listen to what he says. You don't say a fucking. If you're in a room with Trump, if I was in a room with Trump, forget you. If I was in a room with Trump, I wouldn't say. I'd be like, "You got any advice for me?" And I'd listen to what he says, and I'd be like, "Hey, can I get a $1 million loan, bro?"
Okay. There's
I would definitely kick that in there.
there's
I
certain
would
people
kick
that
it in
do
there,
listen.
Bonto.
Mm-hmm.
Can I
There's
get
certain
$1 million loan?
That's good thinking. Anyway, there are certain people that listen to your advisors, and there's certain people that don't, right? Like, for example, Mitch Romney last election,
Mitch
presidential,
Romney.
listened to his advisors. He told him that all the polls were wrong, and that he really was ahead, right? And so much convinced him that he didn't even write a concession speech that night. He actually thought that he was going to win the election.
Oh
Against
no,
Obama.
that's like the fucking Cheers newspaper story in the beginning. No, that didn't happen. I don't think Mitt
That's what
Romney
his
ever.
advisors said happened.
No. Well, yeah, but I don't think Mitt Romney ever thought he was going to win, though, Bunto. I mean,
That's what he
like,
said.
well, no, I
Backstage.
know, I hear you, Bunto. I heard what you said, okay, and I heard the story. But like, seriously, you watched the returns that night, right? Did you ever think like Romney's going to pull it out?
It
Never.
was an interesting election night. Just to
Bunto,
watch
really? Did you
it
ever?
what
Go ahead.
it was an interesting election night just to watch the behavior of one individual, and his name was Karl Rove. The way he was behaving, to the way the returns were coming back, because he was banking all his credibility that
Yeah.
Mitch Romney was going to win that election.
Mitt, not Mitch.
Mitt Romney. Sorry, my mistake. But what I'm trying to say is that, there are some people that do listen to their advisors, and there's some people that don't. Okay. Let's say in the hypothetical matchup between Donald Trump and Senator Bernie Sanders, I would say probably Trump would be best not to listen to his advisors and just be who he is. He wouldn't have to, manipulate his message, because I still believe that people would be less inclined to vote for a socialist candidate than a Donald Trump demagogue.
Don't know, man. Don't know. That's why politics is the most beautiful sport to watch.
Sport.
Because
There's sportsmanship in politics. I didn't know that.
Well, I didn't say there was sportsmanship in it, but it is the most beautiful sport to watch for sure.
A sport without sportsmanship. Interesting.
Because who knows what's going to happen, man? Who knows? Nobody could have predicted that. What the conventional wisdom is that Trump should not work. Okay, Trump should not function, but Trump is rocking it. And if he wins Iowa and New Hampshire, and then see what happens in South Carolina. If Trump wins,
South Carolina.
if Trump wins like Iowa and South Carolina, or New Hampshire and South Carolina, if Trump does that, then I'm like, ooh, wow, that's amazing. If he only wins Iowa and then nothing else, no big deal.
Okay. That's very interesting. Okay, you've discerned that about Iowa. I have too. Okay, it's 9:56, so we got just 4 more minutes here. I'd like to thank you for coming to the show, John. Very valuable. Okay, what do you see as the significance of South Carolina, just off the top of your head? What do you like about winning South Carolina?
Well, there's a lot of stuff with South Carolina, but it is the triumvirate. You know what I mean? Very independent minded. Lot of very bright people in South Carolina.
Fire eaters.
Okay, fire eaters. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they are Tea Party based.
Well, yeah. Then there are a lot of really active Democrats also that are there. And I expect that Hillary Clinton will probably win in South Carolina. What do you think is going to happen in the Democratic arena?
Okay, you brought up a very good point about the schism that you can see in the Republican Party. What if I told you there's the same thing going on in the Democrats? They
really?
have to figure out what to do with Bernie Sanders.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
In the Democrats. Okay, the Democrats is a monolithic iceberg for Hillary Clinton, in your estimation?
No, it's not. It's not that. It's that the Democratic Party knows Bernie Sanders. It's not that Bernie Sanders is not like Barack Obama burst upon stage and he's like, check me out, bam. Bernie Sanders has been around for a long, long time.
Yes. Track
So
record.
that's right. And he's a great guy. And he's going to bring a lot of great points to
But
the.
does the Democratic know that their proper nominee is going to be Hillary Clinton? Or a lot of them don't accept that?
Hey, that's up to them, man. They can vote for whoever they want. I don't care.
Yes, that's true for either party. Okay,
Right.
the Democratic Party has to figure out something to do with Bernie Sanders, somehow placating this.
No, I guess I would say that Hillary Clinton is the by far favorite. Yeah, I don't think they have to worry about Bernie
They
Sanders.
claim that, but the poll after poll now is starting to show a lot of positive buzz for Bernie Sanders.
I dig it, man, and I hope Bernie does well. And I love Bernie, and I wish Bernie would win, and I wish Bernie would become president.
Okay, we're in the
And
locker room with
hang
Bernie
on, hang on,
Sanders.
hang on, hang on. Let me finish. And I wish Bernie Sanders would become emperor of the planet. I love Bernie. Okay,
Okay,
but
but
even though Bernie Sanders, when you say Bernie Sanders is doing well in the polls, like quotes, yeah, New Hampshire, Bernie Sanders is going to do well. Yep. Iowa, could be. But in order to have, we talked about the two layers of money, right? Campaign money and PAC money.
all right,
And you have to have big legs. It's a long, long time, Bunto to November.
interesting.
Okay, and Bernie just doesn't have the legs.
Very
Beyond
interesting.
that, beyond the logistical, okay, so that's the logistical reality. But beyond the logistical reality, and I like Bernie, and I wish Bernie Sanders would become president. I really would. Like, out of everybody, who would I prefer? Bernie. If I could just anoint somebody, Bernie. Yeah.
Okay.
But
Well, let
here's
me
the
give
deal.
you. Okay.
Here's the deal. Hillary Clinton has politics. Being a politician is a job. It's a profession. It's just like being a lawyer, just like being anything else. Okay, and you have to know how things work. And by God, Hillary Clinton has been in the White House for 8 years, so she knows the ropes in the White House. She was a senator for New York. She knows
Many
the ropes in the
positives.
Senate. She was a Secretary of State. She knows the ropes in the State Department. I mean, she knows how things work.
Thank you, Punk,
Nobody
for indicating
else,
that.
yeah, nobody else really can match her understanding of
Her
how things
experience.
work. That alone.
And
Hey,
plus, she has a toughness about her, too.
yeah, she's
Okay,
pretty tough. I don't
let's
really care for her, but yes, she is tough.
let's say we accept the fact that there's only really two candidates on the Democratic side for the nomination. Okay, Hillary and Bernie. Okay,
Right, which is true.
what would happen if something I don't want to say God forbid, but something happened to Hillary and we're left with that one candidate who gets the nomination, Bernie? Could he win the presidency?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I
Why
mean, he'd
not?
have to
Okay,
win the. He'd have to win the general. You'd have to win the general.
right. Okay, why not? Okay,
Depend
this
on who he would
country.
run against. Yeah.
Yes, that's very good. That's exactly the point I was getting at. All righty, would the Republican Party count that as a blessing, or is it something that they have to take seriously if Bernie
Oh
Sanders is
fuck!
the
If
nominee?
Hillary Clinton got killed, they would love that shit.
Well, if Hillary, let's not say kill. Let's just say somehow removed from the
No.
position.
If Hillary Clinton got assassinated,
How
they would
terrible.
fucking love it
Well,
because she's like.
I'm sure there's some certain people in the Republican Party who would
Because
have.
now you're like, you want Mr. Wizard to go into office, or you want to,
Okay,
how about
Mr.
you
Wizard.
want Donald Trump or Mr. Wizard? Which one you
That
want?
that's exactly
Okay,
what I'm getting at.
right,
Okay,
right. See, Hillary is like, she's like, she is a fucking battleship. Okay, she is cruising the waves. She is steady. She's like, mama. Dude, how do you confront Hillary's qualifications? Secretary of State, Senator, lived in the White House for 8 years. I mean, you don't get much
okay.
better than that.
And just for the benefit of our listeners, it doesn't necessarily have to be death. It could be some scandal hitherto unknown that could
Right.
unravel for her.
Right. Like a scandal could happen and she could be killed.
By the way, I prefer the scandal for her sake. Poor woman. All right. I mean, the only reason I bring that up is so many people will wish ill things against another person, and in our country who's contributed very much to our political. It's sad that they ever want to see any harm come to her.
No, I don't want Hillary Clinton dead. No.
Right.
I want her to be a shining beacon for young girls.
But the thing is like this. I mean, if that's true, where there would be, a significant portion of the Republican Party, just hurrah that Bernie Sanders won the nomination, it make you wonder, maybe that was actually planned, that they wanted Bernie to get the nomination. Has that ever crossed your mind in this whole thing? It has.
Of course, they want Bernie to get the nomination. Of course, they want, because Bernie's going to lose.
Okay, Bernie Sanders is guaranteed loss in your estimation.
Dude, did you hear what Bernie said with regard to the foreign policy stuff? I mean, it's pretty absurd.
Unworkable, to say the least.
Well, no, he just doesn't know much about it. It's not his forte.
Ignorant.
About foreign policy. He's not great. Yeah, they had Did you watch the Democratic debate when they were talking about foreign policy, and he kept trying to steer it back to his economic message? Yeah.
All right. So the weakness is evident. The weakness is evident for Sanders. Yet there's a significant portion of people, even in our own community, that support him.
Yeah. Yeah. But well, it's not weakness per se. See, here's the problem, Bunto. The weakness in having somebody stupid in foreign policy is if they don't really understand it and they don't know that they're stupid.
George W. Bush.
Right, then they fuck up massively. Then they rely upon Wolfowitz and Fife and Rumsfeld and Cheney. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, the thing that's fantastic about Sanders is that he makes good decisions. So
that is a plus.
He'll listen to people. He's smart, and he says, "You're full of shit. We're not doing that." That's amazing. That's why you don't want that. That's what happens. That's a reason you don't want Trump in charge with regard to foreign policy.
Very good.
Because if you get somebody in there who is really stupid with regard to foreign policy, what's he going to do? He's going to listen to other people tell him what to do about foreign policy. And if he doesn't know the fundamental relationships and how to influence, the motivations. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, very good point for our listeners.
Then he's going to listen to somebody else tell him how to do it.
Okay, I should be more inclined to take a good look at Bernie Sanders for his decision-making qualities, opposed to Hillary's.
But Hillary actually is, she's pretty good too. But Hillary has propaganda against her,
Okay.
So, yeah, but Bernie has a really good track record.
Okay. Well, God, I could talk to you all night about this, and I think it's a really worthwhile conversation. Okay, why don't we save this analysis for after a couple of primaries, and we can come back and revisit it and see if our minds have changed or we see anything different. Would you be welcome to that?
Sure.
All right, and thanks a lot for all that great dieting advice. Maybe next time, for another episode of the dieting show, we can get Hermine in here and really, discuss the proper approach for a
I'd love that. Yeah, double chocolate brownie, baby.
Anyway, I wish all our listeners a good night and a happy week, and of course, a belated happy 2016. But take care and have a good night.